Hey Blazers, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com, an Amazon company. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Blaze Entertainment, or visit the sponsor or supporters link on our website at intotheblaze.com with over 180 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now let's start the show.
You're locked in to the hottest station on the
planet. Hey, Blazers, it is I Hope Disguise, and I miss you guys, but you know who I miss even more? My awesome partner in crime, 50. How are you? How have you been?
I've been good. This has been a trying couple of weeks, with everything going on with Houston and the political climate. I'm just a fucking wreck. Like, I need about 6 shots, 3 blunts, and a bottle of Xanax.
You know what? I think I needed like 4 penises at one time. I don't know where they're going to go. I just need them to all be in my face, somewhere in my area. I just need them all to be in my area. And so, yeah, Blazers, in all seriousness, I think this is going to be one of our first episodes where we're just not light on our toes, because the issues that we have to tackle are going to be some heavy shit. So you want to go into it, G?
Yes. First, we're going to start talking about So Self-Deval has been deemed the first individual who does not look like us, or if we're not being politically correct, the first white guy to take a knee during the national anthem. Now, we all know the scrutiny that Colin Kaepernick underwent when he decided to protest by taking a knee during the national anthem. The consequences that he received were extensive. He was actually blacklisted from the NFL because of his behaviors, if you will. So now all of a sudden, Mr. Seth decides to jump on the bandwagon, and I'm going to have to agree with Free. Why did you decide to do it all of a sudden now at this moment? If you really wanted to make a statement and you really wanted your actions to be impactful, you should have did it. You should have stood in solidarity with Colin whenever he was protesting. And my question again still stands: why now?
I think that a lot of it comes from the idea that when white people do it, it has a different impact. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right. And it bothers me, and I agree with Free completely. It bothers me that because of the color of his skin, now people want to pay attention, and they want to draw all of these conclusions about why it may be right now. It's like, oh, when the Kaepernick kid did it with the afro, he was being, racist, and he was being counterproductive in the movement. Right. But now here's this white man who's very white appearing, and he does it, and he releases this weak-ass statement that says verbatim, "I wanted to take the opportunity with my teammates during the anthem to pray for our country and also to draw attention to the fact that we have work to do. And that's why I did what I did." And so when Colin did that, where the fuck was everybody's, need to give him a time to make a statement that was actually heard and valued? Because his voice was drowned out by the idea that the NFL now, you know what, we're done with you.
Right. And then they made an excuse. Well, he made the excuse that he is married. I don't know if he's married or engaged to, whatever the relationship is. Yeah, married to a woman of color. My question is, did you, where were your fucking intent? Did you just marry her? And all of a sudden you found it to be problematic. I just don't understand.
First of all, she's this is going to be a very problematic thing to say. And so for those of you guys who are going to listen to this, understand that I say this as a woman of color who is African American for the most part. Mm-hmm. You cannot be a light, bright, almost white Latinx mix of somebody that barely looks like they've ever eaten a taco and say, oh my God, I'm a woman of color and you're doing the wrong thing to your boyfriend 2 weeks before he marries you, and force him to do something like this. Because I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, the reason that he did this was because her family and her said something about this. He doesn't give a shit about it, because as long as he's had to take time to reflect over the change and the work that this country needs, it takes for you to get married to a woman of color to decide that you're going to take the stand. As a man, you knew it was wrong before you were married to her. You knew it was wrong when she was just your girlfriend. And so I'm not buying it. This is bullshit. It's complete and utter crap. And the fact that now she's getting like the wheels on the bus to go round and round with her words and her commentary is just, it doesn't make sense to me. It's really unfair to the people of color who have really stood out there and been trying to say the exact same thing, and their words have been drowned out. But then you get this guy who knows nothing about our struggle, and everybody's like, oh my God, maybe they do have purpose now. That's just rude.
That's what I called forced wokeness.
But what about my privilege?
But I still, to this day, I find it's so shameful that it takes a white person to decide to speak on race issues and the privileges that they are afforded before they can even begin to even want to listen to us or take heed to what we're saying and the actions that we display out of frustration and just complete and utter anger. But Mr. Seth is finished. We're going to move right along to the next.
Okay, so bumping along, we're going to go into Amy Schumer.
First of all, who the fuck is Amy Schumer? I don't even know who the bitch is. So I don't really have much to say on this subject matter because I don't know who the bitch is. Again, I know who Eddie Murphy and what is the other guy she was upset with, the other comedian?
Basically, she's the big girl who's pretty funny, and she's the woman that was a part of Snatched and Trainwreck. She's been a part of a bunch of different things, and she's had a bunch of different specials at the Apollo, but she recently became like a popular thing because she was the one that was kind of like Fat Amy's competition for right now. And basically, what I'm getting is that she says that she doesn't deserve equal pay to Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. And I'm trying to figure out why. So a lot of the feminists and a lot of the women that are a part of this argument are saying, how could they literally go out and make a statement like that, especially considering that she's been around, she's been in the game, she's paid her dues, she's funny as the fuck, and then you give men everywhere, I guess validation in their right that women don't matter in any profession. Because now we're going into something as simple as comedy, and you're saying that you don't deserve to be paid as much as the males on the bill, which is so stupid. I honestly think that she did it to be a hot topic because she has a special that she's trying to promote. I think that she did it so that she can promote her Vogue cover and her movie and everything else that, she has coming out or that she was promoting at the time. And it worked because now she's got people buzzing, and I'm pretty sure she's going to get booked at more places. I don't think that this had anything to do with the idea that she really truly believes that, but I think that for controversy's sake and for the idea of money and getting interviews so that she can talk about this that she has going, hey, by all means, do what you got to do.
So you don't think that her decision to be vocal about not having about her wages, about comparing her wages to those of what I will refer to as seasoned comedians, you don't think that, do you think did it come from a place of, oh, I am a white feminist and I expect to have equal pay, or do you think it came from a place of that with a sprinkle of I'm white and they're black, the white privilege?
But see, I don't think it had anything to do with them being black because her statement was, I don't deserve to be paid the same amount. That was what The headlines read, and I'm going to have to dig more into my researching, but all the headlines read that her statement was that she didn't deserve to be paid that much. And I think that it's genuinely because she's a woman. And, there are still some women that live in the dark ages. There are some women that devalue themselves. And so there's nothing that we can say about the idea that she feels that way. I know that there are people who genuinely feel like, how dare you? Especially when you have people like Dave Chappelle who get paid $20 million a day to do it. And then we go to Amy, who's just as funny, has just as big of an audience, and she's getting paid $11 million. And then she turns around and says that $11 million is fair. That's what I think people are having an issue with. I don't think that race necessarily played a huge role in this. I do think that she could have picked different people to name. Like there was Wanda Sykes. There was a whole bunch of different, females that she could have compared her salary to, but she didn't. And so I think that.
And I guess I think that's where I kind of, where I raise an eyebrow. Like I'm not accusing her of being a racist or anything of that nature, but I'm pretty sure there are other non-ethnic comedians that have been in the game for a long ass time, and they're making much more money than Amy Schumer. So again, like you said, why, especially in the political climate that we're currently in, and all of the things that deal with race, and we're in a race war, believe it or not. So understanding that, why wasn't she selective in the individuals that she was going to compare her salary to? That's where I raise it.
Because when you're being selective in the media, you have to be selectively beneficial to yourself. So you have to think about what's going to make you money, what's going to get the tabloids talking, what's going to make people want to interview you. If she would have said, oh, I get paid less than Kathy Griffin, it would have been like, oh, yeah, whatever, but she's older, Kathy's funny as fuck, and you just gotta wait your turn. But the second that you say, I get paid less than two African-American males, not only are you going up and you're making a statement about, feminism, but you're also making a race statement. And then you're making you're making an anti-statement towards feminism, because you're not even saying, oh, I get paid less than them and I don't like that. You're saying that you get paid less than them and you are okay with it. So there's a bunch of different things that need to be discussed, which means that there's going to be several phone interviews, people's calling, late nights are calling. Like everybody wants to speak with her about this, because the women want to know what the fuck is her problem. The men want to know, like, where has she been all their lives? Because now every male comedian is trying to suck her tits. And so it's kind of like, where do we put this girl? Let's talk about her. And since the bitch ain't got shit else going on but an HBO special, she's going to take all of that and bask in it. I honestly think that that's what it was. She's basking in the ambience of being relevant.
She should have thought this through. Because you're going to have those select few people accusing you of being a racist because of your lack of selectiveness. But anyways, off this bitch, because again, I don't know who the bitch is. Never heard of her, never experienced her, anything of that nature.
We can't sit with us. Does she even go here? But no,
right, she's finished. Next subject.
All right, so I'm so sick of talking about the KKK. I don't know what to do. I really felt like
girl,
I don't know. I just felt like after hearing about it and reading about it and learning about it in school, as far as I was concerned, my generation was free and rid of those bitches. And of course, every time I turn around in 2017, there's a new person that pulls off their little white hood and says, hey bitches, I used to be your dentist and I also hate your life. So I can't deal.
I have to be very careful in what I allow myself to look at and what I allow myself to read. And I understand that there has been a lot of talk about white nationalists and Nazis and the KKK. And because of the field that I work in, and because of the demographic of individuals that I service on a daily basis, I try not to engulf myself with subject matter that surrounds these particular subjects, because I begin to look at them all the same, and I begin to view them through the same lens, and that's problematic for me, because if you look at me the wrong fucking way or you say the wrong thing to me, I'm going to think that you're being a racist, and bitch, I'm probably going to lose my job. So for the sake of, employment, I try not to, focus much on those particular things. But Free said something that I agree with. Her frustrations with people using religion as a safety net to hate. That particular statement, it hits home for me because I feel like that's something that we deal with not only in the Catholic Church, but even in the Black Church.
So when we say that, we know that we're directly talking about the way that Black Baptists view homosexuality and the LGBT period, and how people use the guise of, well, the Bible says to hate people. And I just feel as though what has to happen, because this doesn't shock me at all, does not shock me. But what needs to happen is that people who are in the church that are genuinely trying to live that life and that are genuinely trying to be about God and be about love, need to speak up, because you have all of these people out here that are trying to do good, but they're allowing these bad eggs to taint the way that people feel, and that will go. And the people that just genuinely feel as though they can't, I don't know. This is a touchy subject for me, because when it comes down to religion, everybody is allowed to interpret religion however they want, which is why I'm not religious. I think about being in religion as like playing a game of telephone. This person says this thing, and this person passes it down to this person, but this person just passes it down to that person, and then it's all mumbled by the end of the conversation.
Right. My friend said something that made so much sense to me. We were talking about the Kim Burrell situation, when she stood in front of the church and she made those comments that were derogatory toward the LGBTQ community. And he said, you have church folk and you have Christians. Those individuals that continually stand in the pulpit and spew hate and condemn homosexuals and lesbians and transgender women and men to hell, those individuals are church folk. And then you have your Christians who understand, what, or try to understand what the lives that we live, and they preach more so on love and compassion and those things. They spew love, not hate. And that really, it makes sense to me. And when he says that, it's like something, it was like an aha moment to me. It's like, you're right. I can see the separation of the two. But, that unfortunately is the state of religion in this day and age, is you have the church folk and you have the Christians.
So I say this, let's have some solutionary talk.
Okay.
When we think about the church, and when we think about how to change this, do you feel that there is a way to stop bigots from being bigots in the church?
I honestly don't think there's a way. And the reason why I say that is a lot of those church folk, or the bigots, those individuals, their actions have been ingrained into them. Like these are traditional teachings that they have gathered over time. And when you were raised to think the way that you think, and you were raised to treat people the way that you treat people, that's something that's a habit that's extremely hard to break. So I don't think there's ever going to be a time where the church is ridden of those bigots. I don't. And it's unfortunate, but
I'm gonna sadly agree.
They just need to learn to that we are all people. Like, we are all individuals. Just because I lay down with someone of the same gender, or I'm same gender loving, that doesn't make me any less of a person or any less of a human. Like, that's what they need to realize. And I think if they took the time out to take off their religious cape and really sit down and talk to individuals of the LGBTQ community, they'll be able to understand that this is not a lifestyle. Because when you call something a lifestyle, that means you have chosen that way of living. to understand that this is who I am. Like, I didn't wake up one morning and decide to be gay, or I didn't wake up one morning and decide to be lesbian, or I didn't wake up one morning and decide to be a transgender woman or a transgender man. And it's until they do those things, we're still going to have those same issues in the church, and there's still going to be that divisiveness, and there's still going to be that hate being spewed every fucking Sunday. But hey,
So I'm going to disagree to agree to some degree, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that people of the LGBT community do make a choice. It is chosen. I think that we make a choice to live in an unapologetic truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you choose to be, infatuated, or that you choose to like or be interested, but I do think that we choose to stop bullshitting, and just be fucking happy.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not saying that, we don't, but I'm saying that a lot of the people in the church think that we choose to be same gender loving.
Right.
But we don't. We choose to walk in our truth.
Right. I just want to dispel that, because I think that that's one of those arguments that they do use against us. And I want to reclaim that. You know what? It is a choice. But my thing is, I could choose to be this way, or I could choose to fall in love with your daughter for play, give you a grandson or daughter for play, live in a picket fence house for play. And then when I'm 45 years old, like Caitlyn Jenner, decide that all of a sudden I don't want this because I want to live in my truth. Then, so which one do you want?
Exactly.
And, I think that that's one of those things that people have to come to a realization of. You can allow people to be themselves and be okay with that, knowing that they're not going to harm anybody else's life or their story with their truth. Right. Or you can force people to lie to you, accept those lies, but also accept the fact that some of your family members might be affected by those things as well.
Right. Yeah. So, we just got to keep, like you said, living in our truth and not caring what those individuals, the church folk, have to say. So, did you have anything else on that topic?
I think I am good on that one. This is a very heavy show.
So we're almost at the end, but do you have anything that you would like to vent about before I start venting?
You know what? There's so much stuff that if I start, I'm not going to be able to stop. So I'm going to wait till next week when I have a chance to simmer down on some of these things and only be mad about one of them. So I'm going to let you take this one.
Okay. So you know how much I hate talking about this particular individual, but fucking Donald Trump. I just want to, for a second, reclaim our fucking president. It's so frustrating to me that all of the devastation that is widespread in Texas, it's so frustrating to me that both President Barack Obama showed up in the area before Donald Trump did. And when Donald Trump decided to show up, he and his stupid ass, ignorant ass wife decided to show up, and this bitch showed up in stiletto pumps. And I'm like, did y'all really show up to work, or did y'all show up to be,
They showed up. What they did was they showed up to say that they were there. It's kind of like when you do a walkthrough at a party, but you don't really want to be at the party. You like, oh, hey, auntie, what's up, uncle? Mama, I came, told you I was going to come. And then you leave because you know that they've seen you. And I feel like that's what they're doing.
Like, his term is fucking finished. Like, anytime you are the president of the fucking United States and something so devastating happens and you are on fucking Twitter talking about the fucking wall that Mexico is going to pay for and talking about how you won one particular state, and you have people drowning, you have people being forced on the fucking roofs of their houses, you have people being forced to evacuate, you have people losing things that are valuable to them, yet you're on fucking Twitter. Like, I just don't fucking understand. Like, and to think that people actually thought that this motherfucker was going to be able to run what a lot of people still refer to as the free world, and oh, child, I'm not about to do this.
I was going to say, this is why I wanted to avoid my vet session. There's
I just want fucking Donald Trump to listen to this, and I just want him to answer this one fucking question. What the fuck are you thinking? And I tweeted the other day, I cannot wait for the day that he contracts fucking extreme rheumatoid arthritis in every one of his fucking fingers and toes, so that he is forced to stop tweeting. And then maybe he will be able to be the fucking president that he's supposed to be.
Well, Blazers, I think on that note, we are going to see you guys next week for another episode after the fucking Blaze. This was a lot, and me and Brandon, we try to bring you guys more of the light, side, but it's too much going on for us to. It's just a lot, because I usually be wanting to call people bitches and hoes and give y'all something like that and talk about how Donald Trump looks like Pippi Longstocking's little cousin, but I just can't. I can't, not this week. So that is it for today's episode. We love y'all. Please tune in to our big sister podcast, The Blaze with Free and Kwame, and also visit intotheblaze.com if you want to check out this episode and many more episodes, not only from us, but from the rest of the Blaze family. And until next time, we will see you guys later, bitches. Bye.